You are clear to start.
All right. And I'm going to ask you to take a lead if I can, Kelly, in some of this. I want to start with the nuts and bolts that you have in front of you about the emergency declaration, COVID-19 pandemic, why we are not able to attend physically. You have in your package all of the specifics of the determination that we have to make that we have made a declaration of the things that we're supposed to make, and rather than repeat all of that stuff, I'm going to assume that you have the basic documents that we've been using for the last 2 years. We do have a requirement that each member is participating from separate locations and that each member's voice is clear, audible, loud enough. And I'll ask Kelly, please, to perform a roll call and ask each member to state their names, the location from which they are participating. And at the end of that, I'll ask for a motion that all the participants responding can hear each other, and that we can then declare a quorum present. So, Kelly, can you do that?
Yeah, and if you're not currently talking, can you mute yourself, please?
Say it again.
Oh. Sorry, there was I think there was a dog barking or something, or so I muted a whole bunch of you. So you'll probably have to unmute yourself to speak. So I'll go ahead and call the roll. Stanley Franklin. Do I? Stanley, can you unmute yourself? If I can do it.
How about that?
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry.
I actually had to unmute the thing. All right.
Can you state your location?
I'm in my home office.
Okay. Jay Doshi.
Hi, this is Jay Doshi. I am in Fairfax County, also in my home office.
That beard's looking good.
Thank you.
All right. Hugh Newcomb. See her here, but maybe she had to step away. Andrew Painter.
Hi, this is Andrew Painter. I am at my firm office in Arlington.
Okay. Gifford, Hampshire.
I am in the conference room at the Stonewall Golf Course at the beautiful community of Lake Manassas in Gainesville, Virginia.
All right. Eric Koch.
I am also at my home and here and present.
Okay. Ken Strafer.
Ken was here a little bit ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still here.
He's muted.
Okay.
Okay, we'll come back to Ken. Charlie Nichols.
I'm here at my home in Fairfax
Okay.
County.
Jeff Parnes.
I'm on my deck in beautiful suburban Oak Hill, Virginia, not too far from the Sully Plantation.
All right. And Ken, can you unmute yourself? Oh, can't.
What's your calculation, Kelly, so far?
Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 7 who are verbally here, 2 who we can see, but we can't get I can't get them unmuted. So you have a quorum.
A quorum is 6.
A quorum is 6, and you have
I
7 who are verbal.
I didn't hear part of what you said, Kelly. Does it relate to what they're, whether we can hear them or not?
Ideally, we should be able to hear them.
Not more than ideally, we have to.
You have 7 who we can verbally hear.
Okay.
And you have 2 who are also here that we cannot verbally hear right now. So you have quorum.
Well, the chair is going to then declare that we have a quorum present, and we've done the roll call, and we've done the COVID-related stuff. And the purpose of this meeting is to approve the meeting minutes of the December 14th meeting, again, which you should have before you. And I will ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
That was
Seconded.
Yep. There he is. Hello, Andrew.
Hello. I got it to work.
All right. All right. So we have already the approval of the December 14 meeting minutes. And remember that I warned everybody to pay attention to the bylaws that we have been looking at for the last several meetings, which now have been approved by the Board of Supervisors. And so we are dealing with them, and in particularly the issues involving election of officers, the chairman, the process by which those who are willing to serve can indicate, and I think we have said to Kelly, her willingness to serve. And then we have to go through the process of actually voting on the folks who are willing to serve, which, as I understand it, we're not going to do at this meeting, but we'll do at the next meeting. I want to say right out that I'm going to make the process either easier or more difficult by saying I am not available to renew as chairman. I'll be glad to stay on as a member, but the chairmanship is completely open. And the last time I recall, Andrew had indicated his willingness to serve. I think he was saying as vice chairman, but hopefully he's got his sights higher now. Is that correct, Andrew?
If called upon, Mr. Chairman, I would be honored to serve.
Wow, if called upon. Okay. All right. Anyone else willing to serve in the position of chairman?
Move by acclamation.
Say it again.
Move by acclamation.
There is a motion. Will you please make a note of that by acclamation? We're looking at our new upcoming chairman, and the process by which that'll be implemented before the next meeting. We'll probably have some questions about that. In terms of new business, I know that Kelly wants to introduce our new AFDAC liaison, Sofia Fisher, and hopefully she's going to be able to talk a little bit about bamboo, Board of Supervisors action in suggesting criminal fines for people who let bamboo escape, and I happen to be one of them. I actually have a bamboo patch which I planted 25 years ago, and it blocks my view of a subdivision and some other ugly stuff that is quite satisfactory to me, and I haven't had any complaints, but I will be paying particular attention to that. And I do want to note that I'm not sure what we have in the way of our urban folks, forester types. A real problem is Pachysandra, which is a invasive species declared as such, and when it gets loose into woods, it just spreads, and it keeps new shoots of trees and shrubs and so forth from coming up. So we ought to keep our eye on that, please. And I think, Kelly, it's yours now.
Okay. Yeah, I have a thank you for that. Yeah, so I want to introduce Sofia Fisher, who is on the call with us today. Sofia has been with Fairfax County in the Department of Planning and Development since I think it's 2017, serving in our planning division, working on comprehensive plan amendments, has a strong background in affordable and workforce housing policy. And she recently joined my branch as an environmental planner. And so she is going to be starting in June, your new liaison with the to AFDAC. And so you'll be getting emails from her like you have been getting from me in the past. Sophia is also an adjunct professor in urban planning at George Washington University. So she wears 2 hats. So just welcome me in joining her. I think you're going to enjoy working with Sophia, and I'm excited to have her on board.
Wonderful. And she's attending this meeting now, Sophia?
Yep, she's here.
Yes,
Good.
I'm here. Just wanted to say that it's a pleasure to meet all of you, or see at least a couple familiar faces. Andrew and I crossed paths years ago in Loudoun County. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to be here, and you'll hear more from me.
Looking forward to work with you.
All right. Stanley, do you mind muting? I think we're getting some feedback, perhaps.
I'll put on mute. I don't think that it's mine, but
This, I'm going to interrupt. This is Michael Lipsky, Mariette Hugh
Yes.
Newcomb's technical assistance on her phone.
Okay.
And you're getting vibration. You're getting feedback from her computer. And but anyway, here she is.
Oh, okay. Great. So the next thing I just wanted to give you an update on is okay, sorry, we had 5 districts that were up for renewal this year. I wanted to let you know that 2 are in. The Reinhardt and the Whitney applications are in, and you'll be seeing those in June and July here at the committee. There's a 3rd one that I've been talking to. It was formerly the Reed A&F district. It's been purchased by a new family, but that one is coming back in probably in the next week. I'm going to also try to bring that to you in July so we can minimize the number of meetings. And then there is one still that has not been submitted, the Foster Britt. So I'll be reaching out to them to see where they are in the process. I did learn that the Jenkins A&F district is not going to be renewing. It's my understanding that they are developing a by right subdivision on their property. So that one will not come back. Also, I've been working on the A&F annual report for the last year. So you'll remember we just approved one for the previous 3 years. We're going to get back on track and do these again yearly. So I have a draft of that complete, and I hope to bring that to you in June for endorsement. Next, we are, as you can see, we are still meeting in person. I wanted to see, we can still meet in person if you would like. We are still under a local state of emergency. However, there has been some people have reached out to me about wanting to meet in person. So I wanted to kind of gauge the committee's feelings about that. If there is a strong desire to meet in person, we could certainly set that up for the June meeting. So I don't know if there's any discussion right now about that. Jeff?
I have, in fact, it was last summer, that I, not realizing or reading, ended up in the lobby of the building for an in-person meeting that was held by phone, and I participated in the lobby of the building, but was quite ready at that time to meet in person. I know the Board of Supervisors has been meeting, public hearings of the Planning Commission, the Solely District Council has been meeting in the government facilities, and so I think it's about time that we might want to consider meeting in person. We have wasted 20 minutes, which is about the time it would take me to get to the meeting, getting the meeting going. And I believe that we would be more efficient if we actually met in person. Thank you.
I didn't hear very much of what Jeff said because of static and so forth, but I would prefer to meet in person, particularly if you're voting on a new regime of leadership. I think to be able to look people in the eye and make a judgment in person is proper.
Agree.
Okay.
I agree too.
Yeah, sounds good to
And so-
Eric Cobb.
Okay, and I want to be clear that if there are people, and you don't have to say anything right now, if someone has a strong a strong personal preference to not meet in person, you did adopt the electronic meeting policy. So there is the option to still have a have somebody remote in as well. So we can do both if that's what someone wants to do. So I will check on my end just to make sure that there's no issues with us meeting in person. I don't think there will be, but I just want to cross my T's and dot my I's. And we can find a location in the Harity building to look at meeting in person for June. And that will also allow for the remote option if we need to.
Right.
All right. So the last thing I had on my list was what Mr. Franklin mentioned regarding bamboo. So what happened, and this originated with our Department of Code Compliance because they consider a bamboo a grass and not a tree, which is something I learned this week. But there was an ordinance that was adopted as it pertains to running bamboo. And the intent of the ordinance is if there is a situation where bamboo is escaping your property, that it's going beyond your property lines, the county could enforce civil penalties for that for against property owners who fail to contain their bamboo. And that doesn't go into effect until January. So I want to be clear that it does not preclude someone from having bamboo on their property. It's just in the sense that if it starts to escape your property, you could be subject to a civil penalty. And I do want to say, with any code compliance issue, it is not the county's intent to automatically issue a fine or anything like that. The county does want to work with property owners to rectify a situation before going to that route. But they have those civil penalties in there, in case they aren't able to work through a situation.
How do we get in touch with the interested parties to that action? Who on the Board of Supervisors has the time and interest to deal with this? Who is complaining to them? Who are the moving parties, if you know?
I don't know how this came to be. I'm happy to talk to the Director of Code Compliance, or even have him come to the June meeting if you wanted to ask him more specific questions about the new ordinance. I don't know how it came about. I don't have any information on that.
Mr. Chairman, I would note that the Board of Supervisors does have a standing environmental committee spearheaded by Mount Vernon District Supervisor Dan Stork and Mason District Supervisor Penelope Gross. So, that could be an avenue if you're trying to identify specific board members. You might start with those two.
Well, that's good. Stephanie, could you look into that a bit more? It almost impresses me that there are folks out there that are looking for something to do, like remove the cannons from the Fairfax courthouse. That's a great way to spend time and money. So I'd like to pay attention to this.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Let me start with Jack Wyant, the Director of Code Compliance, and see if he can give me some more background on how this came to be. And I'm happy to share that. I'm happy to share that with the committee. And then I think, yeah, Jay pointed out that I could share a link to the board discussion. I can certainly do that as well.
Kelly, are there different varieties of bamboo other than running bamboo, trotting, standing?
Jeff?
Just curious.
I do not have that. I do not know.
On my walks of the day, there's a span of bamboo I walk by. How do I know that it's running bamboo vis-a-vis a different type? I know there's ivies, poison, and others. There are willows and oaks in different varieties. And there must be different varieties of bamboo as well. There's bamboo I eat, there's bamboo I don't. I mean, just
so I do have something that's called, there is a clumping bamboo and a running bamboo. A running bamboo is the invasive one. The clumping bamboo is a non-invasive. Full disclosure, I got this from Stanley. It's a fact sheet on running bamboo that also happy to share with the committee.
Okay, so what you're saying is people who plant for views and control in their house would probably plant clumping bamboo unless somebody sells them something. Like when I was a young man and I planted seeded Bermuda grass, much to my chagrin. Never buy them. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions, comments, witty sayings, or anything? Because we're getting close to that motion, which is not subject to debate.
Yes, I do. Eric Cox at my
Hi,
home. Hi, I just wanted to quickly, thank Kelly for the hard work she's put in, and I'm sure there's going to be some overlap. And Sophia, I'm looking forward to working with you. And also the Stanley, it reminded me of what you just said about the chairmanship, LBJ, back in '66 or whatever, when he said he wouldn't be running again. It's sort of it's a quite a change, and I'm sure I look forward to working with Andrew as chairman, of course, and I'm sure that's going to be wonderful. But it's a big deal, sort of gets a little frog in my throat there. So I just wanted to say that.
I have to echo that. I don't think that there's anybody on this committee that has done a better job of spearheading, shepherding this committee through over the past several years, at least since I've been on, and probably no one that loves it more than you do, Stanley. And from a fellow attorney to someone who enjoys being outside and outdoors, enjoying Virginia's natural places and trying to hold on to the last remaining rural areas of Fairfax County, I think you've done an incredible job, and it's an honor to serve with you.
Well, thank you ever so much. I can see a politician at work there.
Go.
You've done a great job, Stanley. We're all
thank you,
very
guys.
appreciative.
Thank you all. Any other comments, concerns? Hearing none, why didn't somebody else make the motion to adjourn?
Well, wait. This is your last official act as chair, right?
I think so.
So
But
it would be very befitting that you make the motion to adjourn.
Well, when you look at that section 5 of the bylaws, which we've been warning everybody about for some time, it's going to be a process. I wish I could take a long vacation for about the next 2 months, but we'll have fun at doing something anyway. Did I hear a motion?
So moved.
I so move.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Stan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley,
You
for
are
your
personally
admirable leadership for 30 odd years of the organization.
See y'all later.